So, episode 4's extra stage is something different from the previous ones, which I suppose is to be expected as well, I've tried to make each extra stage relatively different from each other. And this was by far the longest map in this took the longest to construct of any map in Touhou Doom. Nothing else really came close. It took over a month. And it starts with Yukari giving you kind of a rundown on what you just did, but also why you just did. And so, and yeah, Yukari mentions the whole thing about how Mephistopheles mentioned he can reincarnate. However, you can't stop him permanently. You can set him back a few hundred years. And Yukari mentions that, yeah, you don't need you. She doesn't need you because uh, Reimu will get it. Hopefully, we never meet again. Of course, I'm doing the extra stage because... So yeah. You might think, wait, he's here already? We're starting, we're starting the boss fight already. Is there no stage? Well, how could this have taken a month to construct? Well, you'll see. And yeah, basically you're going to chase him down into hell and force him to pay for what he's done. So, and I will kind of speak more. All right, let's keep in this. Ooh, hello. First circle, Limbo. And you can probably guess from this first card what the thematic of this fight's going to be. Much like how the last fight was themed after the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, this one is themed after the Nine Circles of Hell. Alright, let's go for this. They're going to use Magic Napalm here. Okay, that was fun, but I'm taking too much damage doing that strat, so I'm going to switch to something safer. There was an old risky strategy I used to do where basically I went around and collected the 3 keys really fast, but I can't do that anymore because I've forgotten how to not die doing that. And the reason, so I'm just going to play it slowly, not necessarily safer, and kill everything first. So yeah, the way this limbo works is that you need to find the 3 keys. It's not much of a maze at first, but the laser is very powerful for dealing. You want so that's you with each key you're going to get a bunch of Hell Nobles and a pair of vials, And also, each time you grab a key, parts of the floor will lower into the void. And if you fall, that will kill you. So in each time, I'm going to try and lock this down as fast as possible, because you don't want to have both vials wandering about, because that is for the obvious reason that vials can resurrect, but also for the... Hang on a second. Okay. Nice. Now, yeah, and you can see how much of this is lowering. You see even more of the arena lowers. And now we fight Mephistopheles once again. So basically, that's how this whole fight works. Essentially, with each circle, you go down into the circle, and there's some circle gimmick of which ends with you fighting him again. And so you can probably understand why this took me so long to construct, because, in fact, this wasn't me designing a boss arena, it was me designing 9 boss arenas. If you know your mythology, you know there's 9 circles of hell. Alright. So that was Limbo. Second circle, Lust. So the mythology behind this one is that Lust, basically, canonically, souls are blown around in endless wind, because that represents lust for some reason. I'm not really big on the original, on that much of the mythology, and also because the other way to depict this is a lot less, shall we say, safe for work, and I didn't feel like going that path. Not in something that takes itself this remarkably not seriously. So yeah, some platforming required, some low gravity platforming required. So this is where I'm going to probably make a fool of myself for a bit, as I failed to do this properly at all. I don't recall making gravity so low on this, but apparently I made it this low. I cannot maneuver at all. And when you lower this, that starts the fight. So he has a new attack this time, and you're going to see what it is, which is that he'll throw you into the air sometimes. You have less aerial control, so in a sense that's bad, but on the other hand, while you're in the air, it's harder to hit you because you have a third dimension to hide in. In fact, you might want to use the third dimension to dodge attacks anyway by jumping over them. Like that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going to use Hakari Amulet because this air thing is making it unreliable to aim. Oh no, oh no, oh no! Oof! Of course, because you don't have much in the way of aerial control, sometimes you get trapped like that. Thankfully, I had enough health going into that in fact, I wasn't really in danger of dying, but yeah. It's not harmless. And yes, you can see the wind if you stand still. Next up is the third circle, Gluttony. So remember how I said I wasn't going to do this with no spell cards? This is where I'm going to break that oath because, well, you are kind of insane if you think I'm going to try this with no spell cards. So let's commence the ridiculous spell carding. And the system cards, the spirit barriers here I'm using, like there's no tomorrow, uh, I will try to only use those, but you can probably understand why I'm not going to do this with actual no spell cards used, because this is really a circle that's meant to be doable with that. Also, the actual fight begins proper when you kill the Cyber Demon, so I probably should have left that for last, but whoops. He's not going to stand still long enough. Ah. And this is mostly meant to make fun and prey on people who are more adverse about spell card usage. Because, I don't want to say this is for spell card usage, but this is for spell card usage. It's not very subtle. So yeah, that's Gluttony. And it's actually probably the easiest circle. You just need to not hesitate about using your spell cards. Also, yeah, there's ice physics too, just to make it much more impossible to actually play it legitimately. This next circle, on the other hand, is kind of legitimately hard. This is greed. I'm going to circle around and let monster infighting do some numbers, but there's a little gimmick you have to watch out for. See these megaspheres? Don't pick any of them up. What happens if you pick them up, you may ask? Well, you kind of get frozen. Like, you just have your movement slow. You have your movement slowed to 0 because you are weighted down with the stuff you tried to steal from hell. Because, yeah, references. I had a friend who basically, when on the first version of this card, basically when playing it, just said, "Wait, why can't I move?" I just said, "You picked up the items in greed, didn't you?" Followed by her just saying, "Clever." So I'm proud of that. Somebody got that joke. Well, not really a joke. You also have to fight with him. This fight works slightly differently. It's the same fight as it normally is, but there is now a killer megasphere following you. This megasphere is slightly dangerous, by which I mean it will eat your health if you let it touch you. Also, it chases you. This is a very obscure reference to a Touhou fan stage, I guess, called Unreasonable Mechanism, which, oh god, which had a killer megasphere at one point. Well, it had a killer 1-up, not a megasphere, because obviously that's Doom. Come on! There we go. And yeah, you can't take any of the megaspheres with you. They all disappear when you defeat them. That's fourth circle. Yeah, it took me a while to come up with these gimmicks. I am quite happy with this stage, actually. It is, legitimately, I'm actually very happy with where this ended up, but it was pretty hard to construct. Anger at the River Styx. And this is where we actually start leaving. I forget how you're supposed to handle this properly, because this is not it. Oh, God. That is way too many homing missiles to dodge properly, so I'm doing this very, very badly. You have enough health that you can afford to make some mistakes, so you can see you actually have quite a bit of health, actually. So, in fact, you actually are... Let's say, how are you supposed to dodge this perfectly? And the answer is you really aren't. Which is good, because I'm not dodging this perfectly. Oh, God. You're going to focus down these pain elementals because, well, you don't want to leave the pain elementals alive. And I forgot that that actually starts the Mephistopheles fights, so maybe I should have focused down the Revenants. I'm gonna grab this anyway. And now we're just down to me and him, so yeah, 124 out of 125. So also, if you know the custom Doom monster that Mephistopheles is based off of, basically all of these bouncing fireballs do hurt you, so be careful. All right, that wasn't too bad. Limbo, the very first circle, is honestly one of the hardest ones. That's kind of by design. I didn't want, because if you die that quickly, I wanted that to be a tone setter since the stage is overall not nice. And yeah, this is meant to be the River Styx. And that brings us to weirdly enough, to the end of map 29, at halfway through the fight. That is because, for lag reasons, I had to actually separate this map into two parts again. So, time for part 2. I'm going to abuse how large. Oh yeah, right. I should have mentioned the songs I used. The first one is called Pandemonic Planet. It's from Touhou 15's Extra Boss, and she's basically the literally Goddess of Hell is her actual in-game title. So I kind of had to use that. This one's called, and this one is called Hidden God Matara, Hidden Star in All Seasons. It is from Touhou 16, and it's for Okina, which you basically chase down into the hidden world, more or less her backdoor realm, basically the same way you're chasing down Mephistopheles here. So I wanted to use it both for the action. This circle is called Heresy within Dis, because the city of Dis was in Dante's Inferno the 6th circle of hell, and Dis is also the last level of the original Doom. Funnily enough, it's meant to be the Sin of Heresy, which is attempting to reinterpret the holy text. I am reinterpreting Dis as the Doom version of it instead of the biblical version of it. So actually, it's an absolutely terrible joke. The flaming coffins, on the other hand, were a touch that I added from the source. And wow, I'm not getting great luck with the meteors here. Whoa, hello. Actually, you teleported away, not to words. All right. This is... You get an invulnerability. This circle is called Violence, and there's a reason for it. You might notice the monster count. A large chunk of it, the monster count, is this one circle. I think I'm going to grab my invulnerability now, and I'm just going to try and go for it. See if I can just clear out the circle and circle strafe. This circle is probably the circle I'm the least happy with, because there's not much to it aside from the fact that it's circle-shaped, and the fact that there's a lot of violence in it. I'm going to try and take out the... Also, it's hard to hear it, but you did just hear a bunch of cyber demons wake up. So, a kind of hidden technique you can use to get this circle that doesn't really work on most is what I'm about to do here. You see, you're supposed to get the red key. By the way, this lava doesn't hurt you, so I just did the sin of making my damaging floors inconsistent. I'm really sorry, but aesthetically, I kind of needed that. I'm going to activate him and run around the circle. Why? There's this thing in Doom called Monster Infighting, and I'm going to abuse that fact like there is no tomorrow. Originally, this had a bunch of radiation suits and the lava did damage you, but that just really wasn't fun to have to avoid like 80% of the arena. Okay, can I turn around the stream? Yes, I can. There's a lot of health, as you can see, so you actually don't have to be too cautious about hits. You just really have to... Oh, wow, he's actually losing. Usually the violence variant of Mephistopheles can just wipe out most of his opposition, and he just killed both. I think he just killed one of the Cyber Demons. Yeah, he's doing that. Let's see if I can get him to tag one of the Cyberuisers. So yeah, violence I kind of like because it's called violence against neighbors, self, and God. But the demons mostly are what most of who are doing the violence against neighbors thing. Right. Oh yeah, right. Just as a bit of a thing, Cyberuisers can fight with the other Hell Nobles. Sometimes the other Hell Nobles can fight with Cyberuisers though. That is because I forgot to give them a don't harm species, so their missiles, which do splash damage, can hurt them. Oh dang it! He took out the Hell Nobles. Now I have to drag him further. Oh, he's gotten mad with the other ones. Which means, and he's low enough in health, I think I can just let him kill the Hell Knights. I think I forgot to mention this, but this is also... Most of the extra stages aren't... Yeah, yep, they got him. Aren't affected by difficulty settings, aside from very small things. Usually... This one is, because the only difference is that the Danmaku demons have different patterns on different difficulties. They are significantly easier if you're not... Cyberuisers in particular are significantly easier when not on lunatic mode. And yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with how this fight's going so far, but it could... What? Ah! That's annoying. I can't UV max this now. So, this one's called Malibulge, Hell of the Fraudulent. And you might notice a problem, which is that there's this impassable wall of fireballs. Here's how you dodge that. But the bad news is that if you try to dodge it, you kind of need to either use the Spectres. Oh yeah, by the way, these aren't Danmaku Spectres. They these can't shoot, aren't the kinds that shoot projectiles at you. Or you need to jump into pits, which are also full of Spectres. The Spectres, by the way, can use the teleporters up. That's why there's so many Spectres. And let me fall! Yeah, and all the Spectres die. I'm still so sad I left 6 monsters alive back in Violence. I can't max this now because of that. Well. Okay, next up is... I'm starting to get slightly nervous because this is a long map, and I really don't want to die now and have to reset. So, Cositus, Circle of Traitors. You might reckon... So, yeah. This is a timeout card. It's 90 seconds, and every 10 seconds, another one of your previous bosses is going to spawn. You can shoot them down, and you have to, because, well, they use easier patterns than they do... Well, they aren't exactly using their lunatic patterns, as you can see. You don't want to leave them alive, owing to the fact that, well, do you really want to be dealing with, like, 10 Danmaku bosses at once? I don't think so. Remilia is really hard to remove because Remilia keeps doing this bat form thing. So, the rest of them you want to shoot down because... Okay, good. Ugh, not the best. And now, the ice shatters, and we begin Inferno. This spell card is actually from the Touhou series. This one is basically a remake of a spell card called a Pristine Bullet Hell. And there really isn't a trick to this. This is just straight up read and dodge. There's a lot of bullets, so I don't have too much advice to you. If you're low on health, use spell cards. But yes! Okay! Oh, I did it! I actually got him first try. Oh! Oh my god. To be fair, he's actually, at least on Lunatic, he's actually a lot easier than his normal fight. And mostly because you have a lot more health to work with. Like, you can just make a lot more mistakes and still survive. Because I didn't play this very cleanly, but you saw especially in Wrath. Oh my god, that was a blast. Now, I mentioned that it was very important that I don't use any of my spell cards. That is because there are two different conditions I wanted to fulfill in this playthrough. One was get all 5 secrets, and 2 was leave all 12 of my big spell cards, the ones that have all the gold borders and the fancy names. And the reason is that these are the two conditions. If you have spell cards turned off, the only condition that really matters is getting all 5 secrets. But if you are playing with spell cards, there's also a condition where you can instead not use any spell cards. And so I wanted to get that. What am I referring to? Well, normally this portal takes you to the end. This is just the exit of the map. However, instead, it now takes you to another set of blue and red portals. Blue, of course, exits the map. Red takes you to one more fight. Get ready, because this is the super secret bonus fight. The map's name comes from another cave shooter called Ketsui. That's where the name Decisive Determination comes from. And, well, oh, you can hear the Cypress as I failed the kill. And that is because Ketsui's fight had a true final boss. Its name was Doom, so I decided to, well, in a kind of cheeky, funny thing, haha, funny man moment, I decided to recreate that boss. I'm not going to do this with no spell card usage, because this fight's not really meant to be done with no spell card usage. It's dumb and ridiculously hard. Okay, Doom has a bit of a nasty gimmick, which is that he has counter bombs, where if you become invincible for whatever reason, he will also become invincible. So this is the last pattern, and I mentioned I'm not going to use no without spell cards. This pattern's why. Because if you want to look on the auto map to see what this pattern is, this pattern, I literally designed it in this engine, and no, it's not really meant to be dodged. So I'm going to, oh yeah, right, he's immune to time stops. So as soon as time unfreezes, I'm kind of screwed, aren't I? Dead. The time stop card is ridiculously overpowered in one respect, which is that because it stops time, but you can keep shooting, when the time stop ends, you can kind of, all of your shots you fire still actually do their full damage. That last pattern is not dodgeable. Don't try. You should just bomb it no matter what. I probably should have used all my other bombs first, but I was playing that efficiently. So in fact, as a bonus run, I'm going to run Doom again, but I'm actually going to showcase what all the spell cards do. Because it occurs to me, yeah, you haven't seen what all the spell cards do. So, Fantasy Seal, as you probably know, fires basically this is the homing card. It just goes after you. It just fires a bunch of orbs that seek after your opponent. Ow. Not playing this first phase very well. Also, see these bubbles that are spawning from behind me? There's supposed to be a bunch that spawn from in front of me too. For some reason, the ones in the back didn't spawn. So I'm going to use a technique where I can actually see what I'm doing. Evil Sealing Circle is gives the Square of Doom, and it's which then detonates. Maple Leaf Fan is the tornado. Master Spark is the giant laser. You might notice he's not taking any damage. Stardust Reverie fires that. Fires the stars around you. Ghastly Dream fires these butterflies in a ring. State of Freedom from Otherworldly Thoughts basically is a weird one because it stacks a bunch of power-ups with different durations, so it's hard to appreciate what all of them are doing. I'm taking less damage right now. Thunder from the Sea of Eternal Clouds fires a bunch of lightnings in a circle. Grey Thaumaturgy fires a giant star. I mean, just look at this pattern. Is anyone going to dodge this crap legitimately? Particularly the overlap wave, where it's just... Look how fast this is! Nobody's gonna dodge this crap! And finally, yes, just end it, the world which stops time. And that's all the spell cards. Alright, and with that in mind, that is Touhou Doom! That is episode 4. I can't believe I got that first try. I still remember how to play this, aside from Limbo, which had a funnier strat, but I don't remember how to do this strat. But I do remember how to do Limbo normally. And as I said, the main thing is that you have a lot of room for mistakes. Like, you saw that both of the hardest circles, both of the craziest circles, I mean, Gluttony is not really mistakes, that's the whole point of the circle, but like Styx and Violence, both of which are fairly similar, you have a lot of room to make mistakes, and you can still not die for it. And that's it. You've beaten him. Mephistopheles is down for the count, at least in this story. Those who really know me, know that he's actually from an older Doom mod of mine called Samsara Hold, which is no longer being maintained by me. But, yeah, that's the little mythology gag. I see he won't be back for hundreds of years, but that's because the other mod in question takes place hundreds of years in the future. Yeah, so that's a bit of a mythology gag that's very hard to... most people won't catch. He's very different, of course, in my other mod. And yeah, this song's taken from Touhou 12.3, and it's one of the few ending themes that's just actually a nice, happy ending theme. On a familiar note, it ends. Demon Lord Mephistopheles, who masterminded the invasion of Gensokyo, has had his ass kicked for all time. You've proven too tough for Hell to contain, and now Hell at last plays fair. For you emerge from the teleporter to see the green fields of Gensokyo, returning at last. You wonder what's been happening in Gensokyo while you were battling Evil Unleashed. Well, your journey's at an end. You're enough of a badass that even Yukari knows she should send you back. Right? Extra story is going to be for a later video. What I will say is that I had a lot of fun making this. It was a 3-year journey, and honestly, I'm really happy with where Touhou Doom's ended. Now, there is some news also, which is that I am working on a Touhou Doom 1.23, with the release version. Currently, the latest release version is 1.22 as of the time of this video's recording. However, I've been fixing up a few things. Nothing major. See you next video. And actually, well, I'll say that I'm going to tell you this. Extra story is not going up tomorrow. I haven't decided what I'm going to do for that, but extra story is both probably the longest map in this entire story, bar none. And also it's extra story is one map, but it's really like 8 maps. It's one map, but it has 8 maps worth of bosses, which is to say 8 bosses, and yeah, I haven't decided how I want to do that yet. So, that is Touhou Doom, and I hope if you've watched this to the end, thank you for watching to the end. It kind of would blow my mind to find out that I have people that actually really were interested in seeing both the development process and the insanity of lunatic mode. So yeah, that's Touhou Doom. Extra story is going to be for another time. I don't know when that will be a thing, because it probably won't be tomorrow. If you're watching this on the day this is uploaded, or the day this goes public anyway. I tend to upload these somewhat in advance because scheduling's nice. But yeah, it's been good 3 years of making this, and honestly, absolutely worth it. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do a Touhou Doom 2 because I just, oh my god, this was hard enough already. But uh, if you want more Touhou based content, I also have some Touhou Doom themed gameplay mods. Those will be linked into the description of this video, alongside, of course, Touhou Doom itself. So, yeah, thank you for watching. If you've been part of this for this long. And yeah, oh my god, the recording for this is nearly 40 minutes. So yeah, that's Touhou Doom. Thanks for watching. See you in Extra Story.